Okay, what this video is, what are the most common excess diseases? And also, I just recently made earlier today a video about what are the most common deficiency diseases. And a lot of times, if you see two videos related to each other, a lot of times there's a contrast in there or some type of joke. And the joke here is that you're going to always hear people on the internet trying to sell you stuff talking about deficiency diseases, because if they can say there's a deficiency, then they're going to tell you, well, buy our stuff and you'll fix the deficiency problem. But the joke of it, of course, is that the vast majority, almost all of them, are diseases of excess. Okay, animal protein. Not only does it increase your risk of cancer, activate mTOR, got more leucine and methionine, it also raises your cholesterol and it's atherogenic, causes atherosclerosis. It's not just the fat. The animal protein does it too. I think what it does is it has an anabolic effect on the body to ramp up cell replication, for example, and cell growth that requires more material, so to speak, to be shipped through the blood, including increased cholesterol. Excess saturated fat, of course, primarily coming from meat and dairy, cause the main thing causing insulin resistance, diabetes, and everything that leads to obesity, impotence, coronary artery disease, myocardial infarction, etc. Excess sodium, in the form of salt, sodium chloride, vasoconstrictor, inhibits endothelial nitric oxide, hypertension, cerebral atherosclerosis, sort of the Asian pattern of atherosclerosis, a lot of intracranial atherosclerosis, strokes, tissue hypoxia, increased cancer risk because it's a vasoconstrictor, less blood flow gets to the tissue, can help contribute to a Warburg effect of hypoxia, induced cancer formation. Excess chloride, displacing bicarbonate from the blood, leading to low-grade metabolic acidosis, favors a carcinogenic, acidotic milieu, tumor microenvironment. Excess oils. I got videos on all these individual subjects. I'm just going to kind of rapidly go through stuff here to sort of make a point. Excess oils, omega-6 oils, lipid peroxidation, hydroxynonenal, toxic aldehyde associated with iron, leading to ferroptosis, cell death. Cell death in the brain, causing decreased memory, dementia, contributing to less appetite control, contributing to loss of beta cells in the pancreas, and worsening insulin to become insulin dependent in one's diabetes. Excess iron. We talked about that in a whole bunch of lectures on iron overload, leading to ferrous redox cycling, generating free radicals and oxidative stress. Also promoting amyloidosis, all the Douglas Kell and Astheresia pretorius work. Excess processed food, of course, the GMO, intrinsically bad in and of itself. High fructose corn syrup, bad in and of itself, often contaminated with mercury. The corn sprayed with atrazine, super powerful estrogenic chemicals. GMO soy, intrinsically bad in and of itself, sprayed with glyphosate, obesogen, neurotoxin, typically processed with hexane, neurotoxin, okay? Lots of other problems in these processed foods. The preservatives, BHA, BHT, the food dyes, a lot of them are SERCA inhibitors, okay? That messes up calcium metabolism, which is neurotoxic, cardiotoxic, and also an obesogen, and it promotes diabetes. Excessive stress, which kind of is the same similar effect as sleep deprivation or caffeine. Corticosteroid medications, but those are relatively uncommon. All this stuff makes people a lot sicker. It's neurotoxic, it's obesogenic, bad for metabolism. Okay, excessive aspartame. These are excitotoxins on the hippocampal neurons, increasing glutamate transmission across the synapse. MSG, monosodium glutamate, MFG, manufacturer-free glutamate. Excess tap water contains a lot of estrogenic chemicals. Also contains F minus, which is neurotoxic. That's well known now. Contains aluminum, the so-called clarifier, which is a dementogen and estrogenic chemical. Estrogenic containers of bottled water. Excess alcohol. So you see what I'm saying is these are just common toxins. There's a lot of other stuff that's real bad that's not as common. But almost all of this stuff is pretty easy to avoid. But this is what I mean. You're not going to win the game just by eating a vegan diet. You should be aware of these things. I mean, you can be okay, not as fat as your cousin, but if you really want to optimize your health, optimize your cognitive function, doing all this stuff helps, minimizing exposure to all this stuff. And it's easy to do. Just being aware of it. Get a water filter, okay? Don't drink alcohol. Don't use MJ, use minimum. I told you too, be like Adam and Eve with keep your indoor heating and plumbing, because all these personal care products, every single one of them that I can think of, they all got estrogenic preservatives in them, if not more estrogenic chemicals, fragrance and whatnot. You don't need dishwasher detergent if you don't cook with oils. You don't need laundry detergent unless you work on an oil rig or something. Excess TV time makes you stupid. Excess time on a cell phone, especially for goofing around like an idiot like young people tend to do, makes you stupid. Too much beat music. Your brain can't think if there's always a bump, 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 bump. That makes you stupid. Spending too much time if you're like the grade school, high school age with people your own age, because you all are equally ignorant. You can't really teach each other anything. You learn more from people who've got some more experience in life. They can teach you stuff. So you want to spend time, learning from them. Your teachers, your parents, your older siblings, your internet videos of people who've achieved something you want to learn about. Dementogens, things that make people stupid. Okay, excessive promiscuity. A lot of young people are quite promiscuous. I hear a lot of bad things about young people with regard to that. And, you end up with herpes. It'll be harder for you to find a spouse in the future. Scarring off the tubes, the fallopian tubes in women is relatively common. They end up infertile. All these diseases, they end up on prolonged antibiotics. They can get secondary leaky gut from that and other problems. Excess atheism, that leads to laziness associated with substance abuse and other problems. So anyways, just making it clear that it's pretty obvious that all this stuff is super common. And, fast move to better health is just avoid all these things. And then there's less common stuff we'll talk about in other lectures. I got lectures previously on pretty much all this stuff.